So Kelly, if you could pick 5 whiskies in the store to add to your premium collection, which 5 would they be?
Any whiskey?
The challenge is they've all got to be under £200 each.
Okay, challenge accepted.
Okay, let's do it. Building a whiskey collection is about more than just gathering bottles. It's about creating a journey through Scotland's whiskey making traditions.
Exactly. A great collection needs real variety. You want traditional styles sitting alongside modern innovation. You might want to showcase different production methods, different regions, different approaches to whiskey making. You want each bottle to bring something unique to your shelf.
Now, you might want a classic peated Islay next to an experimental wine cask finish, for instance, or a prestigious distillery release alongside a unique independent bottling.
And while some collectors focus on investment or rare bottles, we're looking at whiskies you can actually enjoy drinking while still being special enough to deserve a place in your collection.
So today, with £200 per bottle as our limit, I've challenged Kelly to put together a collection that shows a full spectrum of Scottish whiskey.
I found 5 exceptional whiskies that each bring something unique, from groundbreaking modern releases to time-honoured traditions, from subtle and elegant to bold and experimental. Each one is under £200 and some significantly below that, making them accessible but truly special. First up, from the Isle of Arran, we've got the Remnant Renegade.
Now, this is part of Arran's new signature series, which makes it a really collectible option, and it really showcases what makes Arran really special. They're a relatively young distillery founded in 1995, but they've quickly become very established as innovators in the industry.
What's fascinating about this bottle is the combination of casks. They've used bourbon barrels for that classic vanilla sweetness, but then finished it in a Tuscan wine cask, something quite unusual in Scottish whiskey.
Now, on the nose you get toffee apples, vanilla, cinnamon spice, and prominent orange blossom notes as well.
On the palate, it's silky smooth and balanced, light licorice, menthol herbs, and you get some honey.
Now, what makes this special for a collection is that it represents a new wave of Scottish whiskey making. It's traditional craft meeting modern innovation.
This is edition number 1 of Arran's signature series, and at £81.95 it's incredibly good value for money, and it's such a unique whiskey. So next we're heading to Islay with this Caol from an independent bottler that's part of our group, Halcyon Spirits.
Now, this is what we call a raw single cask whiskey. Now, it's cask number 306807 to be exact. Now, what you're tasting is literally what came out of the cask after 17 years of maturation. Now, there's no other cask like it, making it truly unique for collection.
At 56 ABV, cask strength, with no chill filtration and no artificial colouring, this Caol is the purest form. This single cask yielded only 273 bottles.
Caol is actually Islay's biggest distillery, but most of their whiskey goes into blends. That's why bottlings like this are so special. They let you taste Caol exactly as it comes out from the cask.
It's exceedingly smooth in the nose with a soft peat smoke. There's a briny salt with a sweet heather honey and slight florals that hold the smoke in check, giving great balance.
Now, on the palate, there's pepper, there's spicy ginger, and there's peat smoke. Now, this is all tempered with honey sweetness, you've got dark chocolate and fresh ground coffee. And it has a medium to long finish with maritime freshness cutting right through it. At 17 years old, it hits that sweet spot where Islay whiskey really shows its complexity. The peat has mellowed, but still has plenty of presence.
And the cask selection is perfect. It enhances rather than overwhelms the distillery character. At £150, you're getting an exceptional age statement Islay malt.
Now, this next one is special. It's a Feis release from Bunnahabhain, and the festival bottlings are always exciting ones.
Feis is Islay's annual whisky festival, and distilleries save their most interesting experiments for it. This Bunnahabhain is finished in a Canasta sherry casks, incredibly rare in whisky making.
Now, Canasta is a unique style of sherry. It's darker and richer than Oloroso. It creates incredible depth in the whisky being produced.
It has a classic sherried nose, sweet and caramelised fruits, honey, roasted nuts, waves of cinnamon.
And on the palate, maple syrup leads with creamy vanilla, dried figs, and a sprinkle of cocoa. and has a long and sweet finish with notes of brown sugar and apples with vanilla custard.
Okay, so the reason that I've picked this for my collection is for its uniqueness. These festival bottlings are one of a kind and really show what's possible in whisky making. And at £95, it's remarkably well priced for a festival release from a major distillery. When you're building a collection, Macallan are arguably Scotland's most prestigious distillery.
Now, the Amber Meadow is part of their Harmony collection. Now, this focuses on sustainable packaging and unique flavour profiles. Now, the packaging is actually made from recycled materials, including local meadow grasses.
It's a perfect example of how Macallan balances tradition with innovation. They're still using their signature sherry casks, but they're thinking about sustainability too.
Now, you get flavours of vanilla, citrus and oak with this one. It's warm and it's woody with a slight bitterness. And what's special here is how it captures Macallan's house style whilst adding something new. It's both classic and it's contemporary. And at £159.95, it's one of the more accessible ways to add a special Macallan to your collection. And finally, Kelly's picked this real gem from Gordon MacPhail. It's one of Scotland's most respected independent bottlers.
Gordon and MacPhail have been selecting and maturing whisky since 1895, and they actually mature whisky themselves rather than just bottling it, which is quite unique for independent bottlers.
Now, they work directly with Spanish and American forests to source their oak. Now, this one was actually distilled at Mortlach Distillery in 2005 and bottled from a refill sherry hogshead cask at 19 years old in 2024. It's one of only 289 bottles.
This is a masterclass in whisky maturation, 19 years of perfect aging in carefully selected wood.
Now, the Connoisseur's Choice range is something really special, and Gordon and MacPhail started back in 1968 to showcase specially selected casks from the huge inventory of maturing whisky.
So they bottle whiskies from well-known distilleries and lesser-known distilleries, and some of these casks have been in their care for decades.
If you're looking for alternatives in the range, there are a lot of amazing options from Gordon MacPhail. And £174.95 for a 19-year-old whisky of this quality, it's exceptional value compared to official distillery bottlings of a similar age.
So what makes these 5 special as a collection?
Well, for this, it's all about the balance and variety. Now we've got, we've got modern innovation with Aaron's wine cask finish. We've got a classic Islay smoke from the exceptional Halcyon Caol. We've got the, a unique festival bottling showcasing experimental whiskey making. We've got prestigious Speyside craft from Macallan, and we've got an exceptional cask selection from Gordon MacPhail.
Each one brings something different to your shelf, and together they tell the story of Scottish whisky, from traditional to modern, from subtle to bold.
And remarkably, all of this comes in at under £200 per bottle. Of course, knowing how to taste and appreciate these whiskies is absolutely crucial.
Which is why we've created the complete guide to whisky tasting right here, perfect for getting the most out of these special bottles.